How's it going, you guys? I just filmed a 10-minute video and realized the camera was facing the wrong way. So I'm probably going to talk a little bit faster, so hopefully it's understandable. I wanted to make a video today kind of talking about my personal development of the desire to become a physician, because I did not always want to be a doctor. And everyone's path is different, and I kind of want to talk about mine so that later I can talk about putting that desire, putting those motivations to becoming a doctor into words on a personal statement or in an interview. So for me, I did not always want to be a doctor. In high school, I actually wanted to be a physical therapist. And I think I had the thought cross my mind twice, like, what about going the doctor route? And I would instantly shut it out and say, dude, I'm not smart enough to become a doctor. I'm a dumb football player, you know. But I tore my labrum playing football my junior year, and it sucked. It sucked really bad. I had to do physical therapy for like 8 months. Had to be done playing basketball after that. But I had a great experience at physical therapy. I kind of discovered this interest in the human body that I've kind of always had, but it really emerged at that time. And so then I decided to do an internship my senior year at that same physical therapy office. And during that semester, I realized it wasn't all that I thought it was. And I kind of realized it's not really what I wanted to do. So then when I headed off to school, to Snow College, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I knew that I had a strong interest in the human body and for medicine. I also took a sports med class in high school and I loved it. So, something in that area. When I took my first anatomy class my sophomore year, it just blew my mind how amazing the human body is. I loved taking my anatomy class. But the first time that I thought I could be a doctor was the following semester when I was asked to be an anatomy TA. And I highly recommend anyone who wants to go into medicine, whether it be a doctor, a PA, a nurse, whatever, that when you take an anatomy class, you should really try to be a TA the next semester. It just really helps solidify all that information. And for me, it was essential. So when I was being a TA, it occurred to me that I was like, I'm smart enough that I could become a doctor. And that was kind of the first step for me in that direction. And that's where, looking back now, there was a lot of other experiences that subconsciously were playing into this desire to become a physician, but at the time, they weren't clear in my head. And so that's why I think it's really good for people to work on putting these things into words. Like for me, this right now is an exercise to see if I can put my desire to become a physician in words. But after that, that's when I decided to say, okay, I'm a pre-med student. Everything I'm doing from here on out is to get to medical school. And when I got to Weber State, the pre-med advisor there, he kind of said, why do you want to be a doctor? And in that moment, I realized, holy shiz, I have no good explanation. I just made up my mind that day when I really felt it in my heart. Like, I felt that it was my calling, but that's all I had. And so I was like, shoot, I really need to start thinking back. What are all my experiences? And so I started drafting up some personal statements. And with each new draft I did, I realized I had so many experiences that were playing into this motivation. For example, my grandpa on my mom's side passed away when I was 15 from leukemia. My grandpa on my dad's side passed away when I was 17, I want to say from prostate cancer or lymphatic cancer. And then my dad actually just passed away a year ago from a rare form of skin cancer that just caused so many other problems in his body. But it wasn't these experiences directly that have played into my desire. It was their physicians. I saw how these doctors interacted with my grandpas and with my dad, and I was inspired. And again, with my grandparents, this was before I had even the slightest clue that maybe I want to be a doctor. But even still, this was inspiring me before that. And I'm going to specifically talk about my dad's doctors. So he had a lot of doctors. He had, like I said, a rare form of cancer. And sorry, there's a fuzz in my mouth. His doctors just made all the difference. Like, how do you treat a terminally ill patient? How do you cheer them up and give them motivation and comfort and confidence in their treatments? And his doctors were just the sweetest. They would call him on the weekends, see how he was doing. They would come visit him. When I went with him to a few of his doctor's appointments, there would be other doctors on the floor that would come in and just ask him how he's doing, because they know he's going through a lot. And that really inspired me and touched me. And it kind of showed me that a doctor doesn't have to be emotionless, because that's kind of how I always thought it was beforehand. I thought, oh, they see crazy stuff all the time. They can't get emotionally involved, or that's going to just drain them. But I had a specific experience with his dermatologist. A month after he passed, I went to go get some moles removed, and as he's walking in the room and he looks at the chart and he says, "Are you Neil's son?" And I go, "Yeah, you're highly recommended in my family." And this is the guy who diagnosed my father's skin cancer. And this doctor then just comes and sits next to me on the bed and puts his arm around me, and he just shares like the sweetest words with me. And he told me a phrase that I'm not ever going to forget. He said, "That one's going to stay with me till I die." And that hit me. And I realized, wow, these doctors can really get emotionally involved with their patients. And man, these doctors, these nurses, all of them who were treating my dad, they were angels. His hospice nurses, they were all angels. And I hope to emulate them one day when I'm a physician. I hope to be able to bring the patient, and not only the patient, but the patient's family, comfort and peace during these hard times. And those are some of the main experiences I've had that have, helped me along my path to wanting to become a doctor. I might have forgot a few things. My other video was longer, but I wanted to kind of throw this out so that people who watch these can understand how it happened for me and how that's going to play into my personal statement. With that being said, good luck, you guys. You got this. Peace out.